All right, let's finish off this section with two final examples. We have 6 sine of cos x cubed, and you want to find f prime of x. Now, here's where it gets tricky because the inner function is cos x cubed. You may notice that within this inner function, we have another inner function, but we'll deal with that later. So for now, we're going to let u equals to whatever's in that parentheses. So u is going to equal to cosine of x cubed. So I'm going to rewrite this as f of x equals to 6 times sine of u. Now I need to know what u prime is because anytime you take the derivative of u, you always multiply by u prime. Now I'm going to say this a lot so you guys remember it. Anytime you take the derivative of something involving u, you always multiply by u prime. Okay, so what is u prime? Well, u is cosine of x cubed. So the derivative of that, of cosine, is going to be negative sine, and the x cubed doesn't change. But because we have an x cubed in the parentheses, you have to multiply by its derivative, which is going to be 3x squared. So u prime is going to be negative sine of x cubed times 3x squared. So now let's go back to f prime. F prime of x is going to be 6 times the cosine of u, the derivative of sine is cosine, times your u prime. So let's do substitutions. U is equal to cosine of x cubed. So we have 6 times cosine of u, which is cosine of x cubed, times u prime, which is going to be negative sine of x cubed times 3x squared. We can clean this up a little bit. We have 6 times 3, which is give you a negative 18. The x squared you can write at the front, and then you have cosine of cos x cubed times sine of x cubed. And the negative sign moves to the front, since it's all multiplication. So basically, if you think about it, sine has a derivative of cosine, and when you do u prime, cosine has a derivative of negative sine of x cubed, but there's a parentheses, you have to multiply by a 3x squared. Okay, last one we have, sorry about the noise, last one we have 2 cosine of cos x, and you want to find f prime of x. So we have kind of the same thing, right? We have like a function in the parentheses. So we're going to let u equals to whatever the parentheses is. In this case, u is going to equal to cosine of x. So we're going to rewrite f of x in terms of u. So we have 2 cosine of u. And now, anytime you take the derivative of u, you multiply by u prime. So you have to know what u prime is. The derivative of cosine, which is u, is just going to be negative sine of x. So our f prime of x is going to be negative 2 sine of u, because the derivative of cosine is sine, and you always multiply by u prime anytime you take the derivative of anything involving a u. U is cos x, so we have negative 2 sine of cos x. U prime is negative sine of x, and we can clean this up a little bit by moving the negative sign to the front, and then so we have 2 sine of cos x times sine of x. That's it. We are done with this section.